name is Nicholas, and the band is called Icarus Landing, Icarus. A lot of people screw up the name. It's Icarus Landing, and the concept is that Icarus is an overzealous young man who just wants to achieve his goals as quickly as humanly possible. So he doesn't heed the advice of those around him. In this case, it's his father, and he flies too close to the sun, and his wax wings melt. He dies in the sea. Anyway, so I play guitar and sing, and I'm doing a lot of the writing and so forth, and I produced the last record. Then we have Sergio on guitar, also backup vocals, Michael on guitar and backup vocals. They're kind of a yin and yang thing, but they complement each other really well. And they both speak Spanish, so they can tell dirty jokes about the rest of us, and we don't know what's going on. We have Jason on bass, and he's from Indiana, kind of a Midwest guy. And then on drums is my longtime friend Joel. Also sometimes he's my roommate, depending on how things are going. And that's the group, and our style is kind of like a heavy alternative rock, you know, but we're pretty diverse. We have some lighter songs and some really...
So how did you guys get together? How did you all end up meeting out here?
Long story. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and I actually started the band there. And then I brought a couple of the guys out here because we were pretty successful there. We were doing some big shows, we had management and blah blah blah. We were being shopped to some labels, but we basically kind of felt like we were at a dead end. You know, it was like kind of a small town in a way and stuff, and you know, we didn't totally fit in. We weren't doing the same stuff as all the other groups of that time and that place. So myself and a couple of those guys came out here, but they hated LA. You know, they detested it, and within like six or 8 months, they were out, you know, so I had to kind of rebuild, which was kind of a hectic, painful process, you know, but I found guys out here, and then there have been a couple replacements since then, you know. I mean, unfortunately, that's the nature of band shit. I think about one of my favorite bands from back in the day is Motorhead, you know, and the only original member is Lemmy, and he's had to replace some people a few times, but the current lineup's been together for like, I think, 10 years, so anyways, the point is you know, it happens, but the show must go on.
Exactly. I mean, it's definitely a culture shock coming from somewhere else to LA.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, the population is like 10 to 1, the traffic is insane.
We hit that on the way here.
Another thing is that LA is just so diverse, which I personally love. Like, there are all kinds of people, and I think that's amazing. Just like, I love all kinds of music, I love all kinds of people, and unfortunately, not everybody is ready to be exposed to all that, you know, so there was definitely kind of a culture shock.
Tell us a little bit about your music, what inspires you to write, and what you look up to artists.
It goes back to starting on guitar when I was really young, like 13 years old, you know. And even before that, there's a video of me playing a toy guitar when I was like 3 years old, you know. And the thing that's kind of interesting is I'm left-handed, and I play guitar left-handed. And you know, 50 years ago or whatever, people believed that left-handedness was like a sign of the devil. And like kids that were identified as left-facing or whatever, they tried to retrain them. They tried to make them use their right hand, and I guess you're not familiar with that, but it's kind of like how, you know, some people believe that homosexuals are born that way, and then there are other people that believe they can be trained to be straight, which I think is bullshit. But the same thing with the right-handed, left-handed thing. It's genetic primarily. But anyway, so even in the video at like 3 years old, I'm holding the guitar left-handed, even though it's a right-handed instrument. So to me, that's just proof that it's innate. But around like 8 or 9, my uncle gave me a crappy old classical guitar. I didn't really do much with it. I threw it in the closet. And then around 12-ish, 13, a friend of mine, it was like summer vacation, said, man, we should learn to play guitar. I'm like, all right, why not? That's how simple it is when you're young. You're just like, that seems cool, let's fucking do it, you know? So we started learning, and we formed a little band, and we were doing like Sonic Youth and Nirvana covers and stuff like that, and we did like the 8th grade talent show. We played a Sonic Youth song, and but I just was playing all the time, and I kind of I surpassed their abilities pretty quickly, and I was like, okay, well maybe I should take this more seriously, you know. So I played my first like real show around 15 at a club called Peabody's in Cleveland, which was pretty legendary. Like, everyone had been there. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Nirvana, Chili Peppers, everybody. It was like a tiny little place, but everyone had been there. So I did that, and then I was hooked from then on, you know. as far as inspiration, I mean, the first bands that I was playing, like I said, Nirvana, all that grunge stuff. My favorite band for a long time was Smashing Pumpkins. That was probably my #1 influence growing up. And then I went through like a blues phase with Stevie Ray Vaughan because he's really one of the best guitar players ever. Like, I mean, he's so clean, so precise, and he basically revived blues, especially for white people in the 80s. You know, it was kind of a dead thing. It wasn't really popular, and I mean, music's cyclical, so every so often you're gonna see blues come back. Like right now we have the Black Keys and all this stuff. It's a blues resurgence. But so Stevie Ray Vaughan, and then as I started to get more technical with my playing, I got into metal. I learned all the old Metallica shit, Iron Maiden. Motorhead's not all that technical, but it's really fun and fast, you know. So all that kind of stuff, and then like the lead guitar playing that goes along with that. And then it's just continued to evolve since then, you know. Like right now I'm really kind of listening to a lot of like female singer-songwriters and stuff, you know, who talks about Lana Del Rey. I think she has like a really great vibe to all of her music. I mean, I don't know how much of it is her influence, because I'm sure she has a lot of like people helping her, producers and stuff, but just the vibe is really huge, I think. And I saw Licky Lee recently, so she's my favorite. She doesn't know it yet, but we're in love. So
good to know. Shout out, you
probably
never
making
know.
babies soon. When you get this to her.
So I know your album just came out last year.
Yeah, in
Can
the
you tell
fall.
us a little bit about that, the name, and a few of your most personal tracks?
Sure, that's a good question. So we released it around, I think, September 10th, and it had taken a while to complete because a number of factors, but like I had a mixing engineer back in Ohio doing the mixing part, and we did like 15 mixes, which I think is uncommon, but I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I kept like writing these long documents like tweak this, do this, whatever. And he was a good sport. He put up with all my shit, and he just kept revising it. So that was one thing. But anyways, we finished it, we released it in September, and then we actually went on our first European tour right after that. And we left like September 17th, I think. And we were there for 27 days, and we did like 20 shows, and we drove like almost 8,000 miles. It was amazing. It was definitely once in a lifetime experience. But as far as the theme, the title of it is All These Years, and that has multiple purposes. On one hand, it's actually a nod to the fact that it took longer than I wanted it to, so that's not very personal. But the other part of it is like, it's about the journey of myself making the transition to LA and like kind of reforming the band and all this stuff, because that was a huge thing. Finally, it just was like, dude, we have to go, we have to do this. So, you know, we got everything together. We brought out like 2 vehicles and a trailer full of all our gear. Like we had like a whole studio's worth of stuff, and it was a huge undertaking. So the album represents all of that stuff, you know, making the journey, making the transition. And there is a track on the album of the same name, which kind of tells the story. We also have a video for that on YouTube, which you guys should definitely check out. It's a lyric video, so a producer friend of mine put it together, and you can see all the lyrics as it goes by. And it tells the story pretty well, I think. So the main single was Call to You, which we did a video for too, which became pretty popular for a number of reasons. I think we have like 130,000 views on that one, and so it's pretty popular on the internet.
Actually, I have seen that video. How was that with YouTube, getting that past the censors?
Yeah, it's kind of risque, but we haven't had any issues actually.
If you could tell us your craziest fan story or your craziest tour story, I can imagine you were like different fan bases.
I can't tell you the craziest ones, I don't think. But I'm reminded of a show in Cleveland where there was someone who would come to our shows regularly there, and we were actually signing people's skin and stuff. I don't know, we did it, they wanted it, we did it. But then this person was like, well, you know, I want something more or whatever. And I think I just gotten done playing, and you know, you're full of adrenaline and you're just like, you're charged up, right? And this chick was like, I want you to bite my arm, I don't know why. And
Vampire.
but I just thought, okay, fuck it, you know, and I really did it, and it left this crazy mark, and we took a photo, and then we like signed around it or something, and then that person put that on their, like at that time it was MySpace, so they put that on their fucking MySpace, and they were super stoked about it. I was like, all right. So you can find us on Facebook, just do facebook.com/Icarus Landing, all lowercase, no spaces. Same with Twitter, Instagram. The YouTube is a little different. It's Icarus Landing Band, because some random dude who hasn't used YouTube in 10 years has Icarus Landing. We won't give it up. And then IcarusLanding.com. So, you know, definitely send us your photos. Like if you've got a shirt and you want to show us a photo, we'll put that shit up. We love that. But anything, you know, engage with us. We're there for you.